Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we continue our expansion of our Megabase structure in our entry level to Megabase. So last episode we finally found some iron. I was afraid we wouldn't find any, but the deal is it's quite far away, so that's gonna strain our robots a bit. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun thing to watch them build. So let's set up a steel setup right here. Since steel is one of the things that's really holding us back now. We could move it by robots, or we can set one up where it's direct insertion instead. And let's see if we can't make a direct insertion one. Just to save a bit in terms of robots traveling all over the place. I think that could be very, very nice. We don't transport plates to make it here, but just take ore directly into it. So if we take the starting area, the same place as over here. So we'll start right here, doing whatever we can. Of course, we'll have to remove this one, but we can't do something like doing a long-handed in between maybe. So what if we do something like that? Doing pretty much the same setup as here. Just doing a long-handed into to this one. And then we'll do this one down as well. Giving this some speed because it will need some productivity. So let's just steal that part going into right here. But that will leave us an issue with the substation. We could move it down one just to alleviate that problem. So let's see if we do this. This will be iron as well, but we move you down to here. Of course, you can't reach them. That is typical. Something like this. And then down here, we'll do one where it won't line up as well, but we will at least be able to fit in these. That one. Because we do need to get an output this way. No need for outputs there. Outputting like this. Oh, we can actually do one thing that makes this the same. Or at least getting it one closer. And that is, if you move the pass provider in here, that will make it one smaller. Is that correct? So if we move you to there instead, we'll move your part to there. And that way it should still work the way I want. Because then we have iron ore going into this one. That moves over here to make steel, and steel outputs into this one. Then we have a substation supplying power. Let's just set one here. So that moves it around the way I want, pretty much. That will still give us some beacons. But that could be a setup we could use. Huh. Because then we can just take this, put it down. Oh, that's a big space we'll get then. But is that the way you want to do it? How would that look as a setup? In theory. There's probably way better steel setups, but let's try with this for now as a somewhat starter build. And let's just limit some of these chests a bit. Please just limit these until we have enough. Same with the green ones. To at least have enough red and blue ones stored up to supply what we need around the base. So now we're making steel at least. And how about we copy paste this down a few times? Can make it right here instead. So what if we just take this on the inside and don't worry about the beacons to right here. Can we do one more here then? Ooh, that just can't fit in correctly, but we can move this one up one, but that will line them up with that, ruining some of the speed we have. Let's just get some rubber ports around this one so we can see how it looks. Right there. Because copying this one down will interfere with our light setup we have. And I don't really want that. We could also move it down one. Or we can actually move one here at the top. Moving it up one instead. Yeah, what if we do that? Will that fit in all of them we need then? Try and move that. Remove you. Then I'd like to... Oh, we can actually do a copy to test it out. Copy you over here. Start here instead. Look, it fits in there. Will that give us enough room for the other one we want below? So pretty much adding in this one right here. Seems to give us enough room. We might have to move it a bit. So saying if you want beacons all the way down to here pretty much. The same on the opposite side. Right there. Oh, that's requesting in a lot. And then we can pretty much try and deconstruct that part and copy this a few times. We probably won't be able to fit in more than 3 columns, but one, let's see, 2, 3, and then we kind of have to move it out a bit from where it stands, but luckily robots can help us with that, so please do this. Then I'd like to cut you one more time and move you into the middle of this area. And that's all about making it look as I want. So this should be, oh, it fits perfectly in the middle. So right there. Let's try that as a setup. That'll be a steel smelting. If I at least set everything up correctly. We will know in just a minute, but I think that will look quite good. And we can always tear it down if it doesn't behave as we want it to. Oh, I kind of want to get the power down over here instead. That is more important. To charge. There we are. So let's see if we can't get a ton of steel running. Look at all the robots in the air. Our power is still supporting it, but yeah, just barely. Oh, this is looking good, guys. We will buffer quite a bit if we don't limit these, but yeah, that's fine. Or we could set it to 1 row instead, just so we don't have this much buffered. Because we know we'll build it more times and that might buffer more than I want. Let's leave it. The next one we make, we could probably change a bit in terms of buffering. But that could be a cool steel smelting setup. Yeah, let's try and keep this. No idea if it's a good setup, but at least I love it. How's it looking down here? Not very well. You are probably missing a ton of things for construction. Don't know if anything happened that made you so you can't move, so you should probably go down and check on it. Just to be sure. How's it look in terms of robot ports? Still more than enough, so this should be able to just move them around. But let's just give this something to do and just let it run. With whatever consequences that may have. Oh, I really want to limit these to 1 row each. Didn't we do that over here as well? We didn't. To be honest, guys, let's just limit it all to 1 row. I don't want to buffer this much. It will be a pain in my behind. Something like that in the future. How about 400 in each? 100 in each? 400 in each. Let's do 400 in each. Let's just limit that. Move it over. Please limit to 400. Oh, not like that. It's like that. Let's do the same for our iron. Limit to 400. Because look how much we're buffering. That is a bit annoying. And it's not the way I want to build this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will start to buffer this 500 with whatever we have in the smelters. And let's do the same over here. 400 steel, that's a ton of iron. So let's just set this up right away. Can we do it with the one that's like that? We will know in a second. I can't actually remember. So there we are, and there we are. Hopefully that limited all of them. We can just check one of the bottom ones if it did what I think it did. Of course it didn't. So we will just fix that. Sorry about that. Very, very soon. But this is chugging along as fast as it can. Making chests for us around the world. And just buffering everything we need. So let's just go up, grab some more inserters so things can actually go a bit faster, since that is really what's holding us up. Might also be the input of iron we're getting, which is not the greatest in the world. Power-wise, still good. Green circuits-wise, we are spending everything this little starter base can throw at it. So let's see here. Robot-wise, I think we are still holding quite strong. Yeah, we're not spending any of them pretty much. And this one is just missing robotic frames. Because you are chucking along making a ton of solar panels. Let's just steal this to get it set up. A few solar areas. Oh, did we just empty out pretty much all of our iron? Yeah, it seems we have. So we have to go get that iron patch now. Before we run completely out of our most basic resource. If you look at our network too. Yeah, we do have 11k iron plate stored up. So in that regard, it's actually not that bad. So we just need the iron ore to flow in a lot better than it is right now. So we can throw it into one of these. Just to store them right here for now. And here is some inserters. You should steal them all almost immediately. That is exactly what's going to happen. Oh, and one thing I most definitely forgot. Probably also why everything stopped is putting in all of those. Let's see how many we're gonna empty out. Guessing quite a bit is what's holding up our production further down in the base. So this is kicking off. Let's just place the rest. I do have a few more on me. That is our entire steel setup. These have not been limited to what we want. But they have now. That means we can copy this part. Just over here. Ooh, let's do the correct place here and there. And now we've limited all of them to pretty much 500 steel. Which is 2,500 iron in each of these. So that's quite a lot. But yeah. You can just keep working and giving us all the resources we need. So let's go up and get some more miners. Hopefully things are starting to expand down here again. It was pretty much a lack of medium power poles. We need to set up iron sticks. It's something I forgot. I can see that. So let's see here. Iron stick. Please craft those as many as you want. Should get delivered down to these. These should start to get delivered. And then we should have medium power poles being made. And then we can actually expand out with everything except our roboports at the moment. And we should actually just set those up. We have more than enough resources going in. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Oh, here are some more roboports for you. But guys, we are starting to get into the part of Factorio that I love, where we can just schedule a ton of things modularly from the air, and they'll just kind of set up everything we want. A very, very nice thing indeed. So let's go up here again. Things are moving very fast. So grabbing some miners, let's go down and set up what you call all of the whole iron patch. And as I said before, I'm gonna do it with passive providers, since if we do active providers on a mining patch, it'll just keep putting it into the system, and that can be good in some cases. It was in my Factorio 2 playthrough, but in this one, I run the buffer chests where they pull to the areas where they need it in bulk, and then from there distribute it. Otherwise, we'll have it in the storage chest all over the base, and that is not something I want to be happening. So look at that, it's slowly moving down towards the iron patch. That is looking very good. So we'll just set up a few more things. Please give me, just make roboports for now. Not that we have enough to support it, but at least they will be crafted slowly and steady. Slow and steady even. Here comes the next patch, or batch even, of things. And I should probably bring a few radars. Power-wise, steam engine is still holding up. That is impressive. So let's just go down south and see how it looks. Quite happy that I did this with the design, so we didn't have, what is it, like 15 times as many roboports to put down every time. Because that would tax our supply quite a bit. Now we just have 16 to use every time, and that should be somewhat doable to handle. So how far down have you gotten? You are done with this part. You are working towards the next one, so we can just go down and set up some miners, and then as soon as they are ready, we should be good. And I just noticed something very stupid. I kind of forgot to bring a lot of passive providers. But to be honest, just a few is enough to set up the blueprint we want, and then the robots will deliver the rest afterwards. So here we are. Let's just start right in the middle of it all. Doing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Doing some of those and a medium power pole. Just give me one, that'll be fine. Right here. Also, if you don't have any, if you say, for example, you have none in your inventory, I'll just show you, put this one down. If you don't have any, you can still take him here and then just place a ghost one. And that is actually very, very nice. So you can still do your building without having to worry about that. So let's just set up quite a bit that can be expanded out. Kind of want to move it down so it matches or lines up even with this part. Then we'll see if it lines up at the top as well. Let's just see if we can get it to line up. It won't, but that is completely fine. let's just get this expanded over to right here, here, and there, and the last one right over here. That should be fine in terms of getting iron up and running as soon as this is done building. And look how close they are. We are just a few roboboards away, and we do have 90 in storage, 140 of those, so yeah, it should be more than enough for that. So soon our superhighway down to this area will be done. Let's get a radar up down here so we can see a bit of what's gonna be happening. So let's just put it right here for now, in this corner. And do one on the way back as well. So we actually have everything in sight. So let's see where would be a good place to put this one. Let's see where it's at. This will give us some coverage. This will give us overlapping coverage. How about right here? It's actually not that bad. If you go up here, that's gonna be one too far. So right here. That's gonna give us a bit of coverage, and that should connect everything up so we can see what's going on the superhighway. So let's go up here and back to the base and just wait for everything to start working. Of course, we'll probably have to put down more because we will start to use a lot of robots transporting things around. Could also be a good indication that we should try doing a little solar field. Probably just doing it way down here would not be a bad idea. Just to have it out the way. And have all the main production up here. Yeah, you can just keep working. That is fine. Let's just drop in a few miners so they can build it. Down below when needed, 119. Do you also have some over here that needs to be built? We do. And that will start to get sorted as well now. Well, well, well. This is looking very nice. Should we just kinda stop filling these soon? Maybe just doing the bottom two. You can limit it like this, to be honest, so we'd only have a small amount in the second one. Almost none, almost none. So that is actually fine. So there we are. That will slowly cover the rest. We are building up things as we go. Still lacking a few of these. Let's take one of these and actually add it down here as well. Because we have iron here, we also want an iron input from this one to filter into a full stack. So how's it looking down here? Oh, is the first one's gonna get placed soon. Here comes the active providers. That means that in just a second, we are gonna hit. Let's see where they're at. This is probably all the miners. Look at that. Well, guys, this is gonna be great. Oh, so great that we finally have all of this hooked up. That will really kickstart our production. It will also mean that our power is gonna be destroyed pretty much. So let's just, we can make this one into a solar one. It is somewhat far down. We can always move it. It's gonna be free power as soon as things get up and running. So here we go. To be honest, in the future, I kind of want to fill this with productivity, but right now I can't really handle it with the power we have. So for now, it will be like this. We pretty much just need to get all of our resources under control. And as you can see, our logistic robots are going down as they've been scheduled to pick up ore all the time to go back to the two buffer chests. And from there, they'll go into our iron column and our steel column. which will kickstart the entire base and probably start to require quite a bit of power. So I think that is quite good. So let's see if yeah, look at that, a whole row of robots flying back and forth, gonna be using a ton of power. But we'll just leave them be. They should be able to manage this themselves. And only issue is that we'll have to grab a lot more to support this. Over here the coal is still going in fine. We are pretty much spending a whole red belt just keeping up with this. So first thing next episode is that we'll place down a solar one to start generating a bit of power for us. I think that'll be quite cool, and we will place it somewhere down here to the south. Could probably just go into this one, because I kind of want it somewhat far away, where it should interfere for the many episodes. So yeah, as you can see, things are going back and forth now. That is perfect. So I think this is a somewhat good place to end the episode. Next episode, we'll set up our first solar field. I think that will be quite cool. Just look at this beautiful design. That is gonna be good. And as you see, Solar Grid version 3, since I had quite a bit of design issues. But other than that, it's gonna be very cool. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll give me a like and a subscribe. And then I will see you in next episode. Bye, guys.